Let me come to you here. Haruna Mohammed, I know some of my questions, you may not be the right person to respond to them because I wish you had some of the spokespersons for these people. But in an election, and I say not an African election, but one of global standard, the superdelegates election was free, fair, and transparent, and ought not be described as Alan does because of, a few isolated incidences. Is that not your position? Hello, Haruna? Unmute your mic.
Okay.
We can hear you now.
Samson, I've never seen an election across the globe where election ends and nobody has anything to say. This is very familiar with elections across the world. And for him to have said what he said, I think that the party in its response have adequately said so to him. And in aspects of the letter that he presented to the party and the one he presented to the media, we have also responded to portions and disagree with some portions or assertions that he has made in his letter.
So, have you not demanded evidence, at least, so you would know whether what he's saying, if the media didn't see, because of the arrangement, how the voting was done, media was not even allowed into, these centers properly, so to speak, so that he would supply the evidence and then you can make a conclusion that he's solely elevating suspicions into evidence.
Samson, yes, we have, because Mr. Alan has been given the opportunity right from the beginning to the conduct of the superdelegates election to make available any complaint that he has within the process. The elections committee availed itself. Every decision that the election committee had taken, he participated, or his assigned or agents participated in all the processes. And after the elections, these aspirants were invited and they were spoken to. They took the decision for them to be able to send their complaints to the elections committee, which will be referred to the disciplinary committee of the party, which has the power to investigate and report to the National Executive Committee. So all of the opportunities have been given to him. And that is why the party now responds is that it is very regrettable that Mr. Alan is taking this decision at this point to withdraw from the race. I think that every opportunity has been given him, but he decides to withdraw and cite them and put it out there in the media.
You think this is just a matter of a sore loser, sour grapes, just no substance?
I can say so, but what I'll have to say is that portions of the letter he wrote to us and some portions of the letter press statement he put out, not everything was put to the party. We have disagreed with portions. And if you indulge me, you read a portion where he said that there were very serious violations of the rules, regulations, and guidelines for the conduct of the elections in almost all the centers. When somebody says in almost all the centers, it means that it's giving you close after 90% of the centers. We have 17 centers for the elections. Those centers that this didn't happen, as you alluded to the fact, were some few places, let's say about 3 places, and if you calculate the percentage, that's about 17% of the centers. So for you to say in almost all the voting centers, it is inappropriate, and this cannot be a true representation of the outcome of the elections for the Superdelegates Conference. He also said that these primaries have been strategically and tactically skewed to favor one particular aspirant. Samson, I stand here again to disagree and to stand on the point of law that establishes the new patriotic party, and in Article 1319 of our party's constitution, this special delegates delegates has been predetermined. And every aspirant who had taken the point to pick nomination to contest knew very well that if we have more than 5 of the aspirants who will go for super delegates. And these are the constituents of the super delegates conference. So if one has to say that this has been skewed for one particular aspirant, then the party wouldn't have, even in the first place, opened up nomination for everybody, since the party knew that we are going to skew something for one particular candidate. But it is very clear that this particular point, Mr. Alan misses. To also say that, to say that this particular, the results of his decision to go is because of what has happened within those particular centers, in terms of violation, in terms of intimidation and all that. The General Secretary of the party took it upon himself on Sunday, that was on the 27th of August, to petition mentioning and citing some persons, including Kennedy Ohina Japan and some regional executives of the party, and which has been referred to the disciplinary committee of our party. And Samson, if you look at the disciplinary committee of our party, what is their function? The function of the disciplinary committee is read in Article 4 of our party's constitution,
all right. So
which establishes that Samson, which establishes the fact that they are to investigate complaints concerning the misconduct of a member, make a full, faithful, and impartial inquiry into any complaint referred to it,
right.
report in writing the results of the inquiry and reasons leading to the conclusions reached,
right.
and make recommendations.
That's a standard function of any disciplinary committee. But Haruna,
this is the standard function. Now, let me conclude on this point before you would come in. Mr. Allen had made complaints. The General Secretary had made complaints. Several other members of the party have made complaints. This is before the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee invited members of the party who has been cited. They have been spoken to, they have interviewed them, they are taking their initial comment and making sure they report to us. In the middle of this particular issues that has been emanating, someone comes out and then says that he's withdrawing because an action should have been taken. I'm not a lawyer, Samson. If anybody is accused of an act, the person must be given to go through the due process.
The fact that you couldn't do the balloting because he withdrew and there were complaints by the other candidates that need to be addressed, doesn't it give credence to what he's saying?
It is because we cherish democracy so much. If we wanted to be autocratic, we would have gone ahead and do the balloting. But the NPP in its establishment, in the core values of our party, believe in democracy. And if somebody has an issue, and that tells you that even before Mr. Allen had withdrawn, the party and the committee had given opportunity to them. All the guidelines that were established were established in line with them, also taking part in the decision. So we are giving role for this particular decision to be taken because we want them to be involved. And the right decision will be taken by the body that is established to take that. It is not at all to tell us that the Santa is not holding, but to tell us that the MPP cherishes democracy.
Thank you. Joining us also, Dr. Theo Champong. Thank you so very much for making time to join us from your base. Doc, once again, back to my initial question, and when you play the devil's advocate, sometimes you suffer, but this is my job, so I'll do it. If you think that I'm asking questions that you're not comfortable with, my job here is not to ask questions that make you comfortable.